Right, good afternoon everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. Let me know if you can see me and you can hear me okay, and welcome to a UK Games Expo 2025 haul video and lots of unboxings. I don't know how long I'm going to be here for today. I might be here for 45 minutes, I might be here for 2 hours. If you are watching in the chat, excellent, AV is all okay. Yeah, thank you very much for joining me this afternoon, and hello to everybody who is watching afterwards. UK Games Expo 2025 might have been my favourite UK Games Expo ever, and that's down to a series of personal circumstances that happened, which were very fulfilling and very rewarding, but also a whole host of other things that just went on at the event as well. The event was great. The organisers did a fantastic job, as usual, of organising everything, and I do love going every year, and it's good to meet up with people, catch up with people, and yeah, reconnect with friends, Patreon supporters, and people in the industry that I know and work with and don't get to see very often. So, first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to get out some non-game related things, which I brought back with me from UK Games Expo. Big red rectangle. Yes, so first of all, there is some 100% pure Canadian maple syrup from James Wilkinson. Thank you very much, James, for this. James has his own YouTube channel. Go and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. It's Board Games James. And James brought me this, and he also brought me some 3D printed pieces for Great Western Trail El Paso. I don't quite know what happened with this. It got a bit dented, but I'm sure it'll be okay. Nothing's leaked out. And yes, of course he did. Of course James brought maple syrup, because he's from Canada. The next gift is from, where is it? I had this all sorted out. No, can't find where it is. Okay, I got some... I got some cookies from JF, who I was sharing a room with. In fact, he got me a beer, he got some cinnamon rolls, and he got me some cookies as well, which I thought I had there, but they're not here. So thank you very much, JF, for those. The next one is a very, very, very special Jaffa Cake tin. So it is a metal tin for holding Jaffa Cakes, and it has Jaffa Cakes inside. This is from Jackie. Thank you very much, Jackie. Apparently this is not something that you can buy or get in the shops. Jackie did tell me how she got it, but I can't remember. But yes, thank you very much for that. Hasn't been opened yet. I hope it's got Jaffa Cakes inside. Right, have we got any other non-game related loot things? Well, there is the Codenames hat. So yes, we have new Codenames coming out. Well, I think there was actually a copy of it for sale at UK Games Expo, and it's going to be on wider release in July, I believe. So this is the new Codenames 10-year anniversary, 2016 Spiel des Jahres. And for those of you that don't know, I was involved in the original version of the game. I've got various stories to tell about the game, but this is a different version. It's had an overhaul in terms of the artwork, and they've also changed some of the words. So I kind of joke that all of the words I suggested for the original version of the game, they've got rid of all of those and replaced them with new ones. That's not quite true, but it's a funny story. What they've done is, because there is now the digital implementation of Codenames, they've had hundreds, thousands of people all around the world all playing it with a lot of the words that were in the original game. And over the years, they've basically filtered out a lot of the words that weren't being used a lot, that some people found a little tricky, and they've replaced them with more modern words. But anyway, new version of Codenames. Yes, and I took part in a live stream where we got given the hat, and that was all very good fun. It's the same game. They've not changed the game. It's not a second edition or anything like that. It's just a new version with a bit of an overhaul. Codenames Pictures, I believe, is due out in August, and Codenames Duet is due out in September or something like that. So these three games are all getting new versions with new artwork. And I've seen them all, and they all look really good. And there is more coming in the Codenames universe later in this year as well. Yeah, the digital app for this game is absolutely fantastic. And I'm saying this, I'm not being paid by CGE whatsoever, but the digital app that they released for Codenames, which is a premium game, you do have to pay money to play it, but it is a pay once game. You pay your money, and that's it. You've got the app, and it's fantastic. And it isn't just Codenames in app form. There's lots of different ways to play. There's lots of different solo challenges. Yeah, they've done a fantastic job with it. So that is new version of Codenames. Oh, I'll tell you what. I said I was going to do some unboxings. Let's do an unboxing. Let's press this button here, and we'll get a little bit more of a close up, and we'll see inside 16 16 million copies sold in 45 plus languages. I mean, that's crazy. 16 million copies sold. And I only get £1 for every copy that's sold. I should have gone for more. I really should have gone for more. Yeah. So let's see what is diff. So there's the new ones. Yeah, so we've got Duet and we've got Codenames pictures. I say visual overhaul, and there's the app. There's stuff about the app. They've done a new how to play video as well. I still did the original one, but there is a new one as well. So these are new. I don't remember the teddy bear before the pigeons. So we got some new innocent bystanders. That guy's new. I'm sure that guy's new. That's new. Yeah, so we've got a couple of new pictures for those. We've got the Deadly Assassin. We've got the grid. I think the grid, it looks slightly different than it used to. But yeah, that's the same. What we do have now is we don't have the plastic stand anymore. We have a rewood stand. So rewood is the stuff that CGE uses, or this might actually be replastic. I think this might be replastic. I'm not 100% sure. But yes, we've got a new stand, and we have the new words, which I will open up and we'll have a quick look at. If I can get in. Okay, it looks very, very slightly different from the original, but no, it's pretty much the same. I think that icon there in the top right, that's changed. But other than that, yeah, same game, but as I said, they have changed the words a little bit. Right, so that is the new version of Codenames. Get that out of the way. Next, yeah, so I'm now going to show you the first of two fighting fantasy themed games. I was going to say that are coming out this year. This is out. Retail version of this game was released at UK Games Expo. The deluxe version of the game, which if you were a backer of the game, is imminent, I believe. There's various movement on ships and things like that. But this is the Martin Wallace game. Now, I covered this on the channel about 1.5 years ago. This is the Martin Wallace Fighting Fantasy Adventures game. And I picked up my copy. And this contains 5 adventures that are all based on the original books. So you have Warlock of Firetop Mountain, Island of the Lizard King, Death Trap Dungeon. You have Forest of Doom parts 1 and 2. So they've actually split up Forest of Doom into 2 separate ones. This box is for the hero and the ability cards, and I've also got the bonus demo scenario as well. So the bonus demo scenario, which was available as an add-on, is like an introductory scenario which is shorter, and it's Martin's creation. It's not based on any of the books or anything like that. I've played that now twice. I've played the demo scenario of it twice. I'm really keen to dive in because as many people of my age, the fighting fantasy books were a very, very big part of, my childhood. And it's fair to say without the actual, basically a 12-year-old me walked into a bookshop, bought Warlock of Firetop Mountain, and 43 years later, I'm now working in the games industry. Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson are pretty much responsible for the last 43 years of my life. So I've got a lot of nostalgia for these games. And if you are one of those people who likes the kind of games that I like, you might not like these games because these are quite old school. They are very much like the original fighting fantasy novels. You will walk around a dungeon, you will open a door and you might die. Maybe not so bad as that. Essentially, these games kind of require replaying the particular adventure because as you play it, you will learn more about the adventure and learn the different routes through and things like that. So, yeah, very, very keen to dive in. Now, I did actually post on the Discord server earlier on this morning and said, which one should I do first? And I've been told, Paul, you need to do them in order. And I think that's because, and I don't want to say campaign system, but I think there is a way that your characters can improve between one and another. And I've been told I need to do them in order. I don't know how true that is, because I kind of like the idea that, I just want to play Death Trap Dungeon with some people. But we'll see when we dive into it. And I did manage to get this signed by Martin Wallace and Sir Ian Livingstone himself. So, yeah, very happy with that. I've already covered the demo scenario on the channel. If you're interested in seeing more, go back about a year and a half. It will be on there. I don't have anything planned yet for doing another playthrough of this. I want to. It will just be a case of fitting it in, along with all of the other 100 games that I need to fit in. Right, so the next one that I want to talk about is the Warlock of Firetop Mountain book. Now, to say this was part of my haul from UK Games Expo is a little bit of a lie, because this is the book that I bought when I was 12 years old. So this is not... Well, let me tell you a story. I've met Ian Livingston a few times now. I don't think each time I meet him, I don't think he remembers who I am. He might recognise the face, because I've met him a few times over the last 3 years, but I'm one of a million people that come up to me every time and say, oh, you changed my life, you're my hero. I didn't go too fanboy on him, don't worry about it. But I'm professionally involved with the Martin Wallace Fighting Fantasy Adventures game and the upcoming Fighting Fantasy Quest series designed by Paul Tederes, which I did the interview with him, a week or so ago. And I'm going to be doing a video of that other Fighting Fantasy game, I think September of this year. But anyway, I went to see Ian on the Friday morning and I said, Ian, I've brought my original Warlock of Firetop Mountain book with me, if you could sign it for me. And he said, yeah, obviously, no problem, just bring it over. So when I went to get my copy of Fighting Fantasy Adventures signed by Martin and Ian, I gave him this book. Now, you can tell that this is an original book because it doesn't have the number 1 on the side. Once they started doing others in the series, the reprints of the later books, they put the numbers on the side. And they had the green spine. A lot of them were the green spine one. This doesn't have the green spine. It doesn't have the number 1 on it. Which means pretty much this is what I said was an original version of the books. So I went over to Ian Livingston, said, I brought my book with me, if you can sign it. And he picked it up, and no word of a lie, he went like that. Because this isn't a first printing. This is from 1982, but this is actually the 4th printing of the game. So when this came out originally, it just sold out straight away. And then they did another print run, and that sold out straight away. So yeah, within the year, they'd done 4 printings of the game, and this is actually the 4th printing of the game. And he was like, it's not worth anything, that. I don't know why I bothered. And I was quite happy that he was able to have a little bit of a banter with me, which was quite funny. So Ian signed that. This is, yeah. Right, moving on. Next game I want to talk about is a game I was not expecting to bring back with me from UK Games Expo. This is the Mandalorian Adventures Clan of Two expansion. Now, I have only covered Mandalorian Adventures twice on the channel before, once as a public playthrough and a second time as a Patreon-only playthrough. I really liked the game, and I was very happy to see that they were going to be releasing an expansion for it, but it was only going to be available for demo at UK Games Expo. Now, I've been in conversation with Josh, who runs Unexpected Games and is the co-designer of the Mandalorian Adventures, and I was fairly honest with him, and I said, Josh, just to let you know, at some point on the Sunday, I'm going to try and get you distracted while I borrow your demo copy of the game. And he said, please don't, because I need to take it to another trade fair that he's going to after this one. But basically, this was not expected to be there. But when I went to see Josh, he said, actually, the game arrived early. We do have some copies of it. I'll go and speak to Asmodee and we'll put one aside for you. So, yes, Mandalorian Adventures, Clan of Two, and it is an expansion. And they were giving away bonus promo scenarios as well, which, yes, one of my Patreon supporters went and got one of those for me, which I thought I'd put in here, but obviously not. You'll notice there's no shrink wrap on this. A lot of Asmodee studios, I think Lookout Games were one of the first ones to start it, but a lot of Asmodee studios are getting rid of shrink wrap now in games, which is really good. There is a little bit of plastic sealant there, but other than that... Oh, okay. It's on all 4 corners. That's why I can't open it. Okay. So I don't actually know... I mean, I've been following Unexpected Games on social media, and I have been aware of all of the posts they've been making about this game, but honestly, I don't know that much about it. Well, we can see here. We've got 4 new characters that are in there. We got 2 new challenges and 3 thrilling missions. Now, for those of you that don't know Mandalorian Adventures, just to let you know, the base game came with 4 missions, but it wasn't really 4 missions. And this says 3 missions, and I don't think it's 3. I think it's going to be a lot more than 3. Because what they had in the original game is that there were 4 maps, and each map was a mission. But as you opened the envelopes, you actually unlocked additional scenarios that you played with the other maps. So it wasn't the case of you only got 4 scenarios with the game, it was that you got 4 maps and there were multiple different scenarios for the maps. I'm going to guess this is a similar thing. So that's it. These are these missions, and these, I think these might be, you might be able to use these on any map, I'm not sure. But we got some more tokens. And it uses a storybook. So this is the mission book. And we have a nice bit of story. So this is number 5, because it was 1 to 4 in the previous one. And then there is the mission. So that's the mission that you would normally play first. Got the overhead lights on, so it's a little bit shiny. But yeah, so there's the mission that you would play. The liberation of Caladan. But then, if you wanted to, you could play this. And suddenly, you're playing a different mission, but on the same map. Ooh, got an evacuate order. That's new. So yeah, we got some missions here. Then we have another bit of story. We've got 6. And we've got another bit of story. 7. So the idea is that you can play them in order. Oh, 8. I thought it said 3 missions. Sure, it said 3. I've just seen 4. We got some extra cards. I'll show these off very quickly. In fact, let's get the other camera on. There we go. Right. So, what have we got here? We have Ahsoka Tano, Boba Fett, Fennec Shand, Bo-Katan. Right. Okay. And then various other cards. Yeah. No, normal Star Wars stuff. If you're a Star Wars fan, definitely check it out. I like the game. I think it's a really good game. I think it does something quite different. It's very streamlined, fairly quick to play. Rules are nice and simple, but allows for a lot of tactical decisions in the game. So, yeah, when am I going to get to play that? No idea. But I want to, like everything else that I want to play. Right, next one. Moving on from Star Wars Mandalorian Adventures is going to be Gwent. So, this is a game very, 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 very excited about because I've played a huge amount of the digital adaptation of this game. So, let's go back where this all started. The Witcher 3 is a computer game that you can play, and within that computer game, there was a card game called Gwent. And you could actually play that card game within The Witcher 3. Now, I've not played The Witcher 3, so I'm just going off what people have told me. But then, a number of years ago, I can't remember how long ago, they released a digital adaptation of Gwent. Now, it's not the same game. They made a number of very key changes, and I've played a huge amount, like possibly over 1,000 games of the digital card game adaptation. I think the system is incredible. I absolutely love the system. So when I heard that they were going to be doing a physical version of Gwent the card game, I was very, 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 very excited. Now, I'll be honest with you, slightly less excited when I found out that this was based on the original Gwent game rather than the digital adaptation. But it's like, it's fine, as long as it gives me that Gwent fix, that's okay. And to be honest, you can't do a physical card game version of the digital implementation because there are certain things that are only possible in a digital version, like create a random card or, you know, stuff like this. But anyway, this is it. This was available for retail. It's being published by a company called No Loading Games, but in the UK, it's being distributed and sold by Hachette. I have a very good relationship with Hachette, so they gave me a copy of this. And let's show you a little bit what it's about. Now, I did a very quick unboxing video of this on the Thursday night at UKGE Expo, which was my live stream with my phone, and I tried to unbox this handheld. So it's already been unboxed, and we've already played it. But essentially, the game comes with 5 decks, I think it is. I think it's 5 decks, and there is a deck construction element to it, but it's fairly simple. You choose which faction you want to play. For example, this one. Let's just zoom in a little bit. You will choose this faction to play. There are a few different leaders in here. I think that's a leader. Yeah, that might be a leader. So there's a few different leaders. You choose a leader. You've then got unit cards, and you choose at least 22 units. And then you've got special ability cards, which are the ones with... There you go. These are special ability cards. And you choose a maximum of 5 of those. And then once you've done that, you've built your deck, and you shuffle your deck, and you put it down on the table, and then you draw 10 cards from your deck into your hand. And that's your hand for the entire game. So unless you have special abilities that allow you to go looking in your deck for other cards, you won't actually draw any of the cards. Now, one reason why I love this card game is that it kind of turns the normal card games that we're all used to on its head. There is no cost to play a card. So when you play a card, you just play a card. There's no mana, resources, or anything like that. And every card is equally balanced against each other. So when you're building your deck, you just put in a whole bunch of cards. There's lots of synergies that you can have and things like this. But the game, one thing that I do like about the game is that a full game of it, let's call it a match, is actually up to 3 separate games. It's basically the best of 3. But those 10 cards that I mentioned, those are for the entire match. So for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, let's say these are my 10 cards that I have for the entire match. So what I'll do is I'll go first, then I'll play a card, then my opponent will play a card, then I'll play a card, then my opponent might say, right, I pass. And I'm like, okay, well, I've won that round because I've got 20 strength and my opponent doesn't. My opponent has now passed. Those cards are gone. We now play game 2. But the problem is, I've used 2 of my really powerful cards. So then my opponent, so I then go first in the second round and I'll be like, okay, I'll play that, and then I'll play this, and then I'll play that, and then I'll play that. Oh, and we're having a really tough round 2 because my opponent needs to win round 2. Because I won round 1, if my opponent doesn't win round 2, then I've won the match. So we'll really, really go for it in round 2. And then, okay, and it's all about conserving your cards to win the match rather than the particular game. So let's say we get to that situation. I decide, okay, I don't think I'm going to win this one, so I'll concede at this point. Those cards are gone. My opponent wins that one. We're 1-1, and we've only got a few cards left. And that is one reason why I like this game. It just works differently from other card games. Each of the factions works in a different way and has different synergies and bonuses, and they all have unique special abilities. I believe the monster deck is all about getting other monsters from there. The Northern Realms deck has a special decoy card that me and Adam could not work out how to use it at all, to the point where we assumed it was a misprint on the card because we just could not at all work out how the card was supposed to be used. Then I went and spoke to another couple of people and they told me how that card is being used. Spoke to Davey from the Whose Turn Is It Anyway podcast, and Davey said he's put about 40 or 50 hours into this game, not the digital version that I play, but the digital version within The Witcher 3. And he was like, oh yeah, decoy, it's one of the most powerful cards in the game. You need to do this, 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 this. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So this will be covered on the channel. I don't know when, but I'm going to speak to Hachette, and I do want to get this covered because, as I say, I think Gwent is one of those games that I think is really good. And my opinions on Gwent as a game are predominantly from the digital version. I need to dive into this one more and see what it's like. Right. What have we got next? Let's talk about a game which had its worldwide release at UK Games Expo. This is Luthier, or Luthier, the art of the instrument from Pavison Games, the people who brought us Distilled. This is their second game that they've got coming out, and they've announced Class of 89, which is going to be their third game that they've got coming out, which I'm hopefully going to be covering. I've got a good relationship with Pavison Games. I think Dave does really good stuff, both from a design point of view and the way that he runs Pavison Games. And yeah, it's a company that's a relatively new company, but they just got it right. Not just the game's good, but the production's good, the marketing's good, their presence is good, their attitude is good. I'm a bit of a fan. So yeah, my biggest issue with this game and I kind of hope that Dave doesn't watch this video, I don't think I'm going to play Distilled again. And that isn't because Distilled isn't a good game. It's just with my limited time and availability to play games, I think this is a much better game than Distilled. And if I ever am in a situation where I get to play either one or the other, I will always vote for this one. So, I've not opened this yet. As you can see, I took the shrink wrap off. And let's have a look. Let's see what we've got. Now, this is the deluxe version of the game. So, if you have the non-deluxe version of the game, your box will be different. This was a free copy of the game given to me by Dave, because when I agreed to do the video to help promote the game, that generally includes a copy of the final copy of the game when it comes out. That's how most content creators work. If you're going to do a video for the publisher to help them promote it, you generally speaking get a copy of the game in return. So we have the rulebook. Oh, that's quite nice. That's quite thick. Yeah, that I don't know exactly, but that kind of gives me the same feeling as rulebooks from Stone My Games, if you know what I mean. It's got a bit of a texture to it. So we have that. We have the deluxe edition exclusive content. We have the rehearsal. Now, when you told me that they were doing this, this is basically the style that I like for when I'm demoing games. It is a guided first round for new players. So when you sit down and you play the game for the first time, I strongly recommend you do this. Gives you the setup, and it actually talks you through the first round of the game with, oh, this player does this player does this player does this. A lot of people might not like that. I think this is by far the best way to learn a game. And what they've done is they've scripted it, and by following through this process, and I'm so happy that they've put all this effort into this, you follow through this process, and by the end of it, you will know how to play most of the game. And you've done it by actually playing the game rather than sitting there and listening to 45 minutes of rules, which nobody wants to do. Although if you do want to do that, I strongly recommend Ryan's How to Play video series from Nights Around the Table. Ryan did the How to Play video for this game. I did a playthrough of it as well a while back. But anyway, that's there. Let's have a look inside. So, look at these. I mean, this is nice, isn't it? So we've got some, we got some nice trays, which are going to store the resources. I assume there's two of them, so that you can actually separate out the resources and put one at one side of the table and one at the other. But yeah, they're quite nice. Unless you have the illustrated instrument sand standees. Leave this in the box to keep things snug. Oh, I see. Oh, right. Okay. So what they've done, that's a nice idea. If you don't have these bits, you keep this in the box as a spacer. Right. Yeah, that's a good idea. I don't have them. I don't think I have them anyway. Although this is supposed to be the deluxe version of the game, so maybe I do. Ah, that one's not coming out. Come on. There you go. Right. So we got these bits. These are the upgraded player bidding pieces. Oh, I know what I'm going to be doing tonight. Yeah. So individual player trays. Let's just zoom in a bit so we can see these. Oh, these are nice. These have got like a little, they're kind of felt. I've not seen that before. I need to look at who made this game. But yeah. Very similar to the prototype I got, just better quality, obviously. But yeah, these discs, these will go in here. These are the player trays. One for each player. Work better if I put it back together. What have we got underneath here? Ah, yes, the player boards. Ah, right. So we've got the nice chunky big player boards, dual layered. No warping whatsoever yet. We'll see what happens with them. And underneath that, we've got this board. We've got some extra bits underneath there. Once I've done the punch board, got some metal coins. Got some cards. Nice. Right, okay. Let's try and remember how this goes back. And let's have a look at this. Right, so big chunky card. So this is the game board. Yeah, it's it's got a nice table presence. I remember when I had this out and I was playing it at a local games club, people were coming over and going, oh, this looks nice. And yes, it does. So from what I remember, you've got these 5 areas that you can go to, and you go there with a disc, and it's kind of a bit like the old Richard Breeze game, Aladdin's Dragons or Kingdom, where you will place your disc face down, and then once all the discs have been placed, you reveal them, and whoever bid the most will get to go first. But the key thing is, everybody will get to do the action. It's just in the order in which you kind of bid for. So yeah, that's the main board. And then we've got some extra bits and some other extra bits. And yes, right, let's get that put away. I'm sure a lot of people watching this video have probably backed this game, because it fits into the medium weight Euro game category. Medium to heavy or medium? Not sure. I'm leaning towards medium to heavy for my memory of the game. Right. Let's move that out of the way and let's swap it for an old game. This game is ancient. This is 2 years old. What am I doing picking up a 2-year-old game? This is Quartermaster General East Front, published by Ares Games. And I didn't even know this game existed until it appeared on Board Game Arena about a month or 2 ago. And I'm like, ooh, a Quartermaster General game that's only 2 players, and it's on Board Game Arena. So I learnt how to play. I've had a couple of games of it on Board Game Arena, and I contacted Ares Games, who I have a good relationship with, and I said, any chance that I could get a copy of Quartermaster General East Front if I promise that I'll cover it on the channel at some point? And they said, yep, we'll book you a meeting with Roberto, who is the boss at Ares Games. And I'm like, well, I don't really need a meeting. I just kind of want to pick the game up. And they said, no, we'll sort you a meeting out. Yeah, so I went along, I think it was the Saturday, and went along for a meeting with Roberto. Now, Roberto is really, really nice gentleman, and he is one of those people who is absolutely in the thick of it. So you can imagine, and a bit like Dave from Pavison Games, you can sort of imagine that the boss at Ares Games would be, either not at the convention at all, or he would be there, but he would overseeing things. No, right? He was there in his red shirt, demoing games to people. So yeah, he's always involved. He's always working, hands-on and things like that. So I had a really nice chat with him, and he was very complimentary of the videos that I do. And yeah, Quartermaster General East Front. And there's a new one coming out later this year. Quartermaster General South Front is another 2-player game, also set in the Quartermaster General. I say the Quartermaster General universe. It's World War II, but they are essentially card-driven war games. Yeah, I'm going to call it a war game that's basically set in World War II. So this one, yeah, it's on Board Game Arena. If you want to play it, it is on there. It's a good implementation of the game. This has been my first time actually seeing the physical game itself. So here we go. We have a 2023 catalogue, because it was printed in 2023. We have a rule book. Yeah, we have some counters. We have these, which are absolutely essential, so that you don't actually need to refer to the rule book. Once you know the game, all of this is there, which is quite useful. This is the board. So it is basically the battle between Germany and Russia. Germany was busy doing lots of other things at the same time, but this is just focusing on this part of the game here. And it's a victory point game. And these stars are essentially victory points. And what you do is you play 3 quarters. You play the summer, you play the fall, you play the winter, then the scoring. And at the point that you do the scoring, each player works out how many of these they have control over, and that's how many points they get. It starts off with Russia having an advantage, and generally speaking, in the first scoring phase, Russia will score more points. But over the course of the game, Germany will be building up its armour units, moving east and gradually trying to, push in. And what normally happens in this game, so I'm led to believe, is that Germany will end up getting an advantage somewhere around here. And then if they do it right, they will end up generating more victory points than Russia and potentially win the game. But it is balanced. I'm not saying Germany is always going to win. I'm just saying Germany will generally advance quite strongly. But yeah, card-driven game where you will be. Let's show you some of the cards. If I can get in. Yes. So yeah, these are the cards. And essentially, as I say, it's a card-driven game. You can play these cards to do what it says on the card, or you can use 2 cards to do something else. You've got lots of flexibility with the options that you can do. And the cards will come in at various stages of the war. So these are the mid-war cards. These won't be there at the start of the game. And yeah, I really like it. One of the things that I do like about the game is it has rules in there for supplies. And the supply rules, which almost caught me out when I last played against Brendan, is essentially you've got to constantly look on the board. So I'm not going to take all the pieces out, so it'll take me ages to put them back. But you're constantly looking to be able to trace a supply route for your units all the way back to, I think it's a location with a flag on it. So that means you can't push forward too much, because if you do, and you end up getting surrounded by your enemy and you can't trace a line of supply back, then you're immediately removed. And back when I was playing Hex Encounter war games in the 80s and other such games, I always loved the concept of supply because it's realistic. Essentially, when you've got an army in a field, not that I have personal experience of this, but it's not just that army in the field, they are constantly being supplied with like food, rations, ammunition, and everything else. That's just something that happens. And if you surround a unit and you cut off all of those supply lines, the unit can't function. So yeah, it has that in the game. So I'll say it again, this is another game that I will be covering on the channel at some point. I don't think any of the games that I've covered so far, none of the games that I've talked about so far today, I am doing sponsored playthroughs of. I don't think. Let me just go through and check. I mean, Fighting Fantasy Adventures, I already did during the campaign. If I do it again, it won't be sponsored, and that's absolutely fine. Mandalorian, Plan of Two, I don't think that will be sponsored. I'm pretty sure it won't be. The first one wasn't, so I don't think the second one will be. I will speak to Josh and see if he's interested, but otherwise, I'll be doing it anyway. Gwent, undecided. I'm definitely covering it on the channel. Don't know whether it's going to be sponsored. And the maple syrup game. Yeah, the maple syrup game might actually get a sponsored playthrough video. We'll see. We'll see. Right, so what's next? I'm trying to balance the games here, and it's not going to work. I'm just going to have a drink because I'm very hot. Oh, Codenames as well. Yeah, Codenames won't get a sponsored playthrough video. Right, now, this next one, I'm slightly cheating because this arrived this morning. So technically, this is not a UK Games Expo haul, but I would have picked it up this weekend. But Osprey said, I tell you what, we'll send it to you. Then we don't have to remember to give you one this weekend. So I'm actually going to be doing a sponsored tutorial and playthrough video for this game. Yes, I think I'm doing a sponsored tutorial and playthrough. This is the third in the series. It started with Merv, then it was Sankore, and this is the third one in the series. So this arrived this morning. So does that mean this is out yet? I don't think this is out yet. No, I think this is out later in the year. So yeah, Osprey Games normally have their games ready like 2 months in advance, and they've sent it to me, and yes, I'll be doing a playthrough video. Now I've got the playthrough video booked in. Let me just check when the playthrough video is booked in, because that will give people an idea of when it's actually coming out. Okay, 8th of October. There you go. 8th of October. Stephen's saying this is slated for an Essen release in October. Yes, that's why. So on the 8th of October, I will be doing a live tutorial and playthrough video of this game. And if it's as good as the other two, although I've not played Sankore, but I've heard it's really good, then yeah. Does anybody else get weak at the knees when they see Ian O'Toole's graphic design? Or is it just me? Now, one thing that I will say is that the inserts for the games that I've had from Osprey Games have been interesting. some of them have not been that functional. This one seems fine because it's got the plastic lid on it. If it didn't have the plastic lid, everything would fall everywhere. But let's have a look at this board. Now, yeah, I don't know anything about this game. I don't know if it's more complex than the others or easier. We'll find out. Nivlet says, bought the entire games just because of Ian O'Toole. Yes. And quite right. Although I'm sure he's done some artwork for some bad games. Martin says, lighter than Sankore. Okay, oh, look at that. I had accidentally got the zoom level of the camera just right. Yeah, so there we go. Player boards. Playing boards. We've got, looks like a sideboard here. I don't know if this is for the solo game, or it might not be. It might be for something as part of the game. And we have, I'm not going to punch out too much because otherwise I'm going to lose it. But yes, we've got things that punch out. I'm actually going to show you some of the other things. I'm putting things back in a punch board. Let's go to the other camera. Let's go to Battle Cam. And if we zoom in on Battle Cam, because I spot some silk screen printed meeples here. Go. So yeah, I've no idea what these are. They could be absolutely anything, but the components look nice. So there we go. That is, what's it called? Ayar, Children of the Sun. Let's just have a look at what the theme is. Viracocha created Inti, the sun god, and Mama Quilla, the moon god. They rose from Lake Titicaca as husband and wife, sister and brother. Okay. Not sure. And I'm not going to embarrass myself by guessing. But somebody in the chat, please tell me where it's set. It's in South America, but I'm not 100% sure. It's the Maya. Right, okay. I thought it was. I just didn't want to make that assumption. I mean, I should have spotted it, actually, from the various bits around there. Now, that's not working. Why is that not working? Oh, because that goes there. That goes there. It's like a puzzle game. That goes there. That can go there. That can go there. That can go there. Oh, I forgot to put that in. Never mind. I'll do this again later on. There we go. Right, let's move that to one side. So this is the one where I do actually have a date booked in to cover this on the channel. I will be getting some practice games in beforehand, and I will be bringing this to ManaCon in July if anybody wanted to borrow it. So yeah, ManaCon in July, which I will be going to. I will be bringing this there, and if you do want to borrow it off me, let me know. A couple of other games. This one, which I can't tell you anything about because it hasn't been announced yet, but this is a new tea game designed by Daniele Tascini, coming from Board and Dice, and it's going to be announced in the next couple of days. So I can't show you it, I can't tell you anything about it, but it is going to be announced in the next couple of days, and I'm going to be covering it on the channel on the 27th of June. So yes, Friday, 27th of June, I will be doing a live playthrough of this new tea game from Board and Dice. Right, I think we have one more game to show you. And I don't know whether to just put it on the table and walk away and let you make your own decisions. But for those people who are regular followers of mine, you will know that I started gaming, well, 1982. And, you know, got into the fighting fantasy books, started playing Dungeons and Dragons, and then started playing, you know, the hero quests and things like that. And one game that I played a lot of, like many people my age, on a Saturday afternoon, was Talisman. Now, Talisman is a very old school game, and there's no shying away from the impact that Talisman has had on the board gaming hobby and the board game industry. And it's actually quite nice to see that Talisman is still being printed and it is still being played and it's still finding a new audience. Now, I have gone on record for the last 20 years saying that Talisman is one of the worst games ever designed. It's absolutely awful and you couldn't even pay me to play it. Well, a few months ago, as a joke, I did a live playthrough of Talisman, the digital game, on the channel. If you want to see that, go back a few months. In fact, I did it again about a month ago with James, but I did it as a joke. And I tell you what, I had fun. Yes, it's still got some of the same problems that I remember, but I actually had fun. So I decided to pick up a copy of the physical game. So this is the latest edition of Talisman. This is the 5th edition, published by Avalon Hill. And I'd actually been trying to get in contact with Hasbro for the last 2 months. And it's not easy to get in contact with Hasbro. It's really difficult to get in contact with Hasbro. And even when you do manage to get in contact with them, you then hit a brick wall. But Avalon Hill were there at UK Games Expo. And on the Sunday, I walked past the booth and I went, shall I go and say something? Or should I not? And I decided to. So I basically went up, I found somebody, I spoke to them, I introduced myself, I told them what I do, and they gave me a review copy of Talisman 5th edition. So I will go and put well, I'm not going to go and put this next to my old one. My original copy of Talisman from like 1983 is in the attic. Half of the pieces are missing. It's badly water damaged, but it is still in the attic. I think it's still in the attic. I mean, I remember when it came out, I got all of the lead miniatures that came with it. I painted them all and everything. I must still have them somewhere. I don't know. But yes, I actually have my own physical copy of Talisman 5th edition. Now, Talisman 5th edition does actually change a couple of rules that makes the game a lot better. So it isn't just a reprint or a facelift. They have actually changed a couple of the rules. It is still Talisman, right? If you like Euro games and stuff like that, you're probably still not going to like it. It is roll a dice, move around a board, draw a random card, and either get a magical crown that wins you the game or a dragon that kills you. That's still the game, okay? But I'm quite pleased that I've got a copy of it again. So let's have a look and see what is in the box of this version. Oh, it means I've got to pick up the expansions now as well. Okay, so we have a rule book. That's going to be interesting to read. I wonder what the rule book's going to be like. And I've only played the digital version from Nomad Games. Wow, that looks like a huge rule book. I'm sure it's not that complicated. But anyway, we have a rule book. We have some punchboard tokens, which, yeah, they're punching out okay. Right, the game board. Oh, that's, yeah, okay. We've got a number on here. That's interesting. 40,751. I've never seen that before. I've never seen the board actually numbered. I've seen boxes numbered. And I've also never seen a game board unfold like that. But yes, there we go. It's not quite fitting on, is it? But yeah, there is that. We've got various things. We've got various pieces. We've got some cones. We've got some gold tokens. I'll replace them straight away with actual metal ones. And we've got some miniatures. I'm not going to paint these miniatures, am I? I haven't got time to paint these miniatures. But let's just zoom in and let's have a look at the miniatures. No idea what the quality of these miniatures is going to be like. Is it going to focus? It's not going to focus. Bear with us a minute. Let's do it manually. No, wrong way. There we go. That's probably the troll, isn't it? I think, is the sorceress still as broken as she was before? Maybe. So, yeah. They look quite nice. They look quite detailed. But yeah, realistically, I'm probably not going to paint these. So, the cards. Let's have a look at the cards while we're here. Let's just get some of these cards. Show you what we've got on them. There you go. Meet a big ape. So yeah, you just draw a random card. You might find an enemy which might kill you. Goblins, ogres, spectres, and allies that you can have with you, friends, henchmen, talisman, items. Yeah, all of the usual stuff. The thief was always the broken one, says Graham. Yeah, I did a live playthrough of this with Mike Dennis during his charity stream, and he was playing the thief, and he did keep stealing all of my items. It was quite funny. Anyway, that's Talisman 5th edition. When is this going to get covered on the channel? I don't know. Same as the others. I don't know when I'm going to cover it on the channel, but I will at some point. Is this from Talisman? Or is this from a different game? I think that's from Talisman. Yeah, it fits in there. Yeah, now, I think that is everything. I think. I mean, I only got back last night, so I haven't actually finished unpacking yet. I think I'm going to break this. How does this go together? What have I done wrong? Oh, I see. Oh, that's confusing. That's very confusing. Yeah, I got back last night. So I've basically rushed around the house and found what I think is all of the games that I got at Expo. There is one game that I was going to bring back with me, but unfortunately I didn't manage to get hold of my contact on the Sunday. But this is Z-Man Games, Matt Leacock's new Fate of the Fellowship cooperative game. They're going to send me a copy. They said they're going to send me a copy. So I went round on Sunday to say, well, if you're going to send me a copy, why don't I just take a copy with me today? And I wasn't able to find my contact on the Sunday. So Fate of the Fellowship, that will be covered on the channel as well. I don't know when. It may be a sponsored playthrough video. I'm not sure because I know they've got a lot of sponsored content already lined up. So I might have missed the boat on that one. But yeah, very keen on that. A lot of my supporters tried it out over UK Games Expo and said it was really good. If you have got your own thoughts on it, leave me a comment, let me know. But overall, I've heard positive things about it. No Stupor Monday. Nope, no Stupor Monday. I know somebody mentioned that on the Slack channel, but yeah, I don't know, because Stupor Mondays, I think, published by Quinard Games, and I don't think Quinard Games were there at the event. So yeah, I don't walk around and buy games from publishers or anything like that. It's more meeting up with existing clients, meeting up with potential prospective new clients, or just people in the industry. You know, having a chat with them and things like that, rather than actually going and buying things. Anyway, yeah, I think that's everything. I think I've showed you everything. So I'm going to be spending this evening putting all of this stuff together. That's it for now. So my plans for the week is Friday, I'm going to be covering Kinfire Chronicles and Kinfire Delve. It's the only public videos that I've actually got planned for the rest of this week. There will probably be some Patreon-only videos. Maybe one of them, maybe me playing one of these games, I don't know. But on Friday, I'm going to be covering 2 games in the Kinfire series. So we're going to be doing Kinfire Chronicles at 7 o'clock, which is going to be a 4-player cooperative game. And then we've got a 2-player game of Kinfire Delve at 9 o'clock in the evening. So the Kinfire series of games, these are sponsored playthrough videos, but I've heard lots of good things about them. And yeah, quite excited about that. So I will be learning those games during the course of this week, getting some practicing in, and that's going to be the next live streams that are on the channel. But for now, we're all done. Big thank you to all of my Patreon supporters for funding the channel. This video, as all of my other videos, is all of the advertising revenue goes to charity, and this particular video is not sponsored by anybody in any way. So yeah, not being paid any money for this, and I'm only able to do all of this stuff because of the support of my Patreon campaign. So huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters for your support, and if you like the content that I create and you want to support me directly, you can do so at patreon.com/gamingrules. Until next time, take care, and thanks for watching.